Good evening, everybody. My name is Rob Rogers. I am the first vice chair of the El Paso County Democrats, and I'm going to be serving as your moderator tonight. We're going to have some fun tonight. Everybody excited? Is that a Friday being excited? All right, let's get to it. We are going to be starting. We're going to be starting online with Mr. Joe Reagan for this first question. Oh, I am sorry. I was just corrected. I just missed something. We're going to be starting now with 3-minute opening remarks from each one of the candidates, as opposed to jumping into questions. That was just a little bit of a test there to see how you respond, to changes in an agenda. Okay, well, we are going to start with Joe Reagan online for his 3-minute opening remarks.
Fantastic. Of course, with a representation that's occurring in Washington, being able to leverage tools to continually to reach back to the district is going to be tremendously important moving forward. Many of you have heard me talk about my passion around mental health issues, around veterans issues, around healthcare, around education. And of course, these are all things that are very important to me and that have really inspired me to get involved in this race. But as I get out into the community and I engage with folks like yourselves, the things that keep coming up, and I think it's especially important this evening as all of you have gathered in one of the union halls, is to talk about affordability, to talk about labor, and to talk about the importance of how, while our economy is doing well, people are still struggling in our community. And it's important as someone that is going to represent this district to make sure that we're focusing on those sorts of issues. That at the end of the day, when folks go home and they sit at that kitchen table, the things that are important to them and how we, as representatives of you, of the district, can bring those issues to Washington and make sure that they're being heard and make sure they're being addressed. When we look locally, things like insurance, housing prices, all of these are really driving things up due to both supply and demand issues, but also due to things like insurance and how climate is starting to impact the weather in our community. When it comes to labor, this is a tremendously important issue. Making sure that we have a diverse and highly skilled workforce is tremendously important. Labor unions play an extremely important role in that, not only for protecting workers' rights, but also making sure that we're allowing people to continue to upskill throughout the course of their careers in order to maintain that competitiveness. And when I go out and talk to business owners, that's one of the things that we talk about. The fact that there are those jobs, but a lot of times the workers that are applying for them don't have those skill sets. And I think that unions are part of that solution because they're able to bring forward those sorts of solutions. So I'm extremely excited to hear everyone else's take on the district. I'm really excited to share my views on the issues, both that we've talked about in advance and the issues that are important to folks. So I look forward to having this conversation. And again, thank you for your flexibility and allowing me to join this evening.
All right, thank you. We're going to continue with a 3-minute opening remarks. The person that's to my immediate right, Mr. John Edgar.
Yeah, thank you. Party volunteers, candidates, voters, people at home, and the IBEW for hosting us. I'm John Edgar. I've lived in the Pikes Peak region for 21 years. 20 of those I've been a small business owner, an investor, and the last 7 years I've been a husband and a father to a now 7-year-old who's in first grade at a local public school. I'm running for Congress because I believe our country is facing a critical moment. Just over 40 years ago, a Republican president, Ronald Reagan, told us government is the problem. I believe this narrative has shaped the course we are currently on. It's eroded what should be a universal belief that a virtuous government that is effective is necessary to a healthy and is essential to a healthy democracy. That narrative has given rise to individuals who have no virtue and who are ineffective at leading. Too often we see leaders in Washington creating chaos and destruction, and they hide behind their failures and they blame us, the people, for our problems in our country. They blame people who look different or love different or speak different or think different. I celebrate our diversity in this country. I believe this country was built by people who came from all over the world to achieve the American dream and build a better life, and they've contributed ever since. Today's political landscape is dominated by entrenched division and anger between the two parties. I seek your support for a different path, one focused on reclaiming the spirit that's defined our nation's greatest moments, unity. It's time to bridge the partisan gap and end the hostility and address the challenges that plague us. The constant threat of a government shutdown doesn't help a senior who's worried about her next Social Security check, doesn't help a veteran worried about his disabled veteran benefits, and doesn't help a first-time homebuyer who's applying for an FHA loan. I welcome the opportunity to debate these candidates tonight, and I wanted to demonstrate why I think I'm the best candidate to win in November. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We're going to continue 3-minute introductions with River Gasson.
Good evening, everyone. It is an honor to sit before you tonight. Good evening, everyone. It's an honor to stand before you tonight, proudly ready to represent the great state that I've always called home. And as someone who's called Colorado home their entire life, I've witnessed firsthand the resilience and strength of our communities. I come from a long line of educators, individuals who have dedicated themselves to shaping the minds of our future generations. Their commitment to knowledge and enlightenment has instilled in me a deep appreciation for the power of education to transform communities and uplift communities. I have spent my life learning, working as a researcher for the NASA Glenn Research Center, the Space Foundation here in Colorado Springs, and the University of Colorado in Colorado Springs. I possess a deep expertise and understanding in my fields, which are valuable for crafting evidence-based policies and making informed decisions, such as healthcare, climate change, technology, and education. In an era where evidence-based decision-making is more crucial than ever, we need voices in politics who understand the importance of data, research, and innovation. I have dedicated myself to energy science and research into renewable energy. I have grown up hearing people tell us that we don't need to worry about climate change, that scientists are going to figure it out. And in the last year, the planet warmed an additional 1.5 degrees Celsius. I speak for all of us when I say it's time for our government to listen and apply what scientists are telling them. We are past the breaking point, and there's no more time to act. Tonight, as we gather and discuss these pressing issues facing our state and our nation, let's remember the words of former President Barack Obama. Change is never easy, but always possible. I did not come into this line of work because I thought change would be easy, but it is very much needed. The fate of my generation, our future, and our country depends on it. As we confront these challenges, let us hold on to the conviction that while change may be difficult, it is within grasp, and we need to be curing diseases, not treating them. We need to be ensuring that every child has access to quality education, not just the ones who can afford it. And we need to be leading the world in combating climate change, not struggling to catch up. We need hope, we need change, and we need resilience. This is Colorado. We are a state of people who run up mountains, and we are unafraid to tackle the toughest challenges head on. And that is exactly what I will bring to the people of El Paso County. With my determination and resilience and our collective efforts, I will pave a way for a brighter future.
Thank you very much. That's
tomorrow.
Tom. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next up we have Orlando Avion.
Can you hear me okay? Yeah. All right, excellent. Orlando, with all O's, so it's Orlondo. Last name is Avion. I'm going to read from a radical document, see if you recognize it. It is, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. Whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to abolish or to alter or abolish it and institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall meet most likely to affect their safety and happiness. When a long train of abuses and usurpations pursuing invariably the same object evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. So, what is the biggest challenge facing us today? I believe it is truer representation. And I've got 3 ideas to accomplish this and move us into the 21st century. My name is Orlando Avion, and I'm a native born into a military family in Sterling, Colorado. I went to S.A. Wilson, Sproul Junior High, and graduated from Whitefield. I remember when you were able to drag race from Constitution to Academy when there were no traffic lights. I remember when Nevada used to be a cruising street, and on the weekends going to Fargo's. I attended the Air Force Academy, CU Boulder, and graduated from UCCS with an engineering degree. While going to UCCS, I became a ballroom dance instructor, and throughout my career, I've been fortunate enough to stay in Colorado, in particular in Colorado Springs. I've worked at Quantum, DePuy Synthes, Maxtor, Phillips, and Johnson & Johnson. I'm married with adult children and have been and am a small business owner. I want to further democratic values, but what is the definition of insanity? It is repeating the same action and expecting a different result. That's why I want to install 3 ideas: ranked choice voting, multi-member districts, and proportional voting power. What do these solve? First past the post, winner takes all, gerrymandering, apathy, spoiler votes, and custody runoffs. We could have saved $1 million in this city if we'd have done RCV over the last 2 mayoral elections. I'd love to talk to you more about these ideas, gain true representation, and create a more perfect Colorado Springs and America. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And last up, to my far right, we have Adam Gillard.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for coming out. It's great to see the passion and the excitement for this race. My name is Adam Gillard, and I want to be your representative because I have a plan to build an economy that's going to work for everybody. Over the last 20 years, we've seen exponential growth in this area, and our infrastructure has not kept up with it. What I want to propose is that we build a railway system that expands east to west and connects into the Front Range rail system that's coming, in 10 to 15 years here. We need to start planning for this now. We need to be able to imagine being able to sit in Falcon or sit in Fountain and being able to get to the areas of commerce, catch a Switchbacks game, catch a Broncos game, and never have to touch your cars. That's what I want to do for us here. That's going to do a couple things, because every stop along the way is going to help build up these little microeconomies for the stops. It's going to help solve some of our what do I want to say here, environmental racism, and it's going to allow people in disparaged communities to get to the grocery stores easier and faster. So that's something that I want to bring to us and that I'm passionate about. In the next 10 years, we're going to see another 200,000 people land on our, our doorstep here, and we can't afford to have that many cars dumped onto our roads. So we need mass transit, and we need it now. We need to start building for it. The second issue that I want to tackle as your representative is universal health care. I was in the military for 20 years, and I can tell you that it is immeasurable the amount of peace of mind that you get when your health care, your wife's health care, your kids' health care, and all your airmen's health care is not in question. If they get hurt, they get help. If they get sick, they get help. We should be leading the world in this. It's not going to be easy. We're going to have a stepped approach to it. We're going to have to expand access to Medicare. We're going to have to remove the $2,000 asset limit to be able to qualify for Medicaid. We need to stop making people choose between being habitually poor and having health care. It's unacceptable. The third thing that I like to focus on is women's rights. When the Supreme Court overturned Roe versus Wade, they kicked that down to the states incorrectly, in a lot of opinions, my opinion. Fortunately for us, we live in a state that was already proactive and abortion access was available to folks. But you're going to see one person walking around here that has a petition that we need to get signed. Everybody in this room needs to sign this petition. It's going to codify abortion rights into our state constitution in order to make sure that governments and insurance agencies play no role in it. That's important for us Coloradoans, and it's proven to be important for the nation because they need a place to come also. So make sure we get that petition signed because the Republican side, the right side, they're already putting forward a petition that's 0 abortions, 0, right there, Liz has it, holding up.
Thank you. That's Tom.
Thank you, I appreciate you.